It's a rather breezy morning here in Market Warsop, and I'm doing what I do regularly, and that's spend 5 or 10 minutes just sat in the garden waiting to see if anything comes in. It's something that I do throughout the day. Any break that I get watching television or anything, or while waiting for the kettle to boil, will see me walk down the yard and stand and gulp at the garden in the hope that I have a visitor. But you may well have noticed that there's quite a gap in the garden since the last video, and that's because I've had to remove the Viper's bugloss. As brilliant and as magnificent and as bee attracting as it's been, it became too large. I need to find some way of restricting its growth, so I may have to use pots next year and a poor substrate in which to plant the Viper's bugloss. No doubt in a few weeks' time the garden will be full of seedlings for me to choose from. But it has been magnificent. Lots and lots of bumblebees and honeybees and other insects came to visit. The mass of nectar available. But it's not just bees that visited Viper's bugloss, and just while I was in the process of removing some of the plants, there was a visitor in the not totally unexpected form of a hummingbird hawk-moth. Now, if you've ever tried to film hummingbird hawk-moths, they're not the easiest things at the best of times, and when they're nectaring at Viper's bugloss, they're even more difficult because they hardly spend any time at each flower. But I managed a little bit of footage, and this was the 8th individual in the garden. No matter how many times I see and get hummingbird hawk-moths here, or if I see one while I'm out and about, it fills me with joy, and it's just as though I'm seeing the species for the first time. But far from it. I've seen well over 100 individuals. May well be more than that offhand, actually. I think I've underestimated it. But either way, it's a lot. And while I was having a wander checking on the garden yesterday morning, I had more visitors, and more visitors to the valerian that you can see at the bottom of the screen and just catch a glimpse of on the right. That's a ringlet, I believe, from what I can see of it. No, it's a meadow brown, a male meadow brown that's just flopped into view. But it wasn't a meadow brown that I had yesterday. It was a hummingbird hawk-moth, which was nectaring on the nearest of the valerian that you can see at the bottom of the screen. I managed some decent footage that I was very pleased with. It was active, but at least with the flowers of valerian being arranged in the way they are, there's more flowers in a smaller area. You do get longer to focus and keep the moth in the field of view of the camera, and so they're a lot easier to film on valerian. And once this one had finished nectaring and decided to have that customary whiz around the garden before zooming off, this one zoomed off over the fence. I turned around, and what initially I thought was the same one, I very quickly realised it wasn't. It was a different one. The one that I had been filming had a distinct, almost dark or black collar for some reason at the back of the head. This second one was pristine, absolutely pristine, and that preferred the valerian to the right of the screen. With valerian, you need to keep deadheading it all the time, and as a consequence, it will continue to flower and flower and flower until the first serious frosts. So, yesterday was quite successful, with 2 hummingbird hawk-moths in the morning. But the day wasn't completely over then. because in the evening in came another one, another immaculate second brood hummingbird Hawk-moth. So 3 in all, and there's the possibility and indeed likelihood that there will be a number of other visitors coming into this garden. There doesn't look so much flower now, and indeed there isn't. I can see that the white valerian on the right of the screen needs deadheading. Maybe that's a job for today, when I'm on one of my little walks down the length of this garden. But there's still enough colour to attract the nectar loving insects, and that's exactly what this garden will do. It will continue to flower until late in the year, and hopefully continue to produce more hummingbird Hawk-moths. 11 in this garden already so far this year, and we're not even at the end of the first week of July. It's a bumper year this year again, another good year for a marvellous moth.